Let's talk about elementary technique with Orff xylophones or other classroom keyboard instruments. So I don't have any of the big xylophones that you might typically see in your classroom. The only difference really would be that those would have yarn mallets. These are the xylophones that I have a set of in my classroom. So I teach my kids right away bicycle handlebars, because sometimes you'll see spoons and pencils and all kinds of other things that they try to do. And so I say bicycle handlebars, and then instantly kids go like this. So right now what I'm trying with my third graders is I'm actually having them play with flyaway fingers on purpose so that they get used to the fact that it's just the thumb and the pointer that are really doing the work. And then later I'll have them relax these fingers around so that when they transfer to middle school or high school percussion, they already know basically proper technique on a xylophone or other mallet instrument. What I'm having my students do right now is to play the roots of chords. So we have a song that uses C and G, and it goes C, C, G, C. If you'd like, you can remove the bars. Most mallet instruments nowadays will allow you to remove them. These are a little trickier. They have stoppers. They could be removed, but it takes too much time before class. So my kids have done okay with just finding C and G. And then we have another song that's D and A. And so far, they have been doing an all right job. If you haven't already heard, try having them model it on something other, like their lap or on a boomwhacker, and then have them transfer it to mallets so they're not handling so much at once. I always remind my students to lift the sound out of the bar, because with the younger ones you'll have, and they can hear the difference. Draw the sound out. I ask my students not to do glissandos unless it's called for in our music. It's one of the most fun things to do. Let them all do it on the very first day, and then let them know that it can really wear out the mallets, especially if they're those elementary wooden mallets. And it can also wear out the bars. These are pretty good ones, but I have a lot that have little marks on them because they've been scraped up. You might have different types of mallets around your classroom. On the xylophones like this that are metal, basically anything works. These are the rubber ones that don't sound so loud. And these are a good example of what has happened when they have been really well used. Still work, but they're a little worn, and you can tell that. Another good thing I like to have them do to begin getting comfortable on xylophone is to play a one-chord song like Row, Row, Row Your Boat or Are You Sleeping? And just have them do that bourdon on 1 and 5. So if we're playing in the key of C, or the key of D, or the key of G. I love to use xylophones to talk about the science of sound, and when they see physically that a note is larger on this end and then it sounds lower than a smaller note on this end. You can talk about elephants and mice, or you can talk about boomwhackers getting bigger to smaller with the sound, and then we can talk about recorders in the future where you are making the recorder bigger by closing off the holes and making the recorder smaller by lifting up the holes.